Another video demo for block functions. Today, we're gonna create block functions and monitor the cross-bridge transactions over peaq network. As you may know, peaq network is a layer 1 blockchain network powering DePIN and the machine economy and have quite a lot of transactions, number of machine and devices connected to it over this EVM compatible blockchain network. We're going to see a use case using layer 0, very popular cross-chain protocol to bridge assets. Here, as you can see in one of the snapshots, how the funds, which is USDC, are bridged from peaq network to other chains as well. What we can actually also see is the number of transactions happening inbound to the peaq network from different EVM chains and other networks. Now for that, what we can see, this is from Stargate protocols documentation. You can find the contract addresses for different contracts being deployed on peaq network. So you can, go to any blockchain explorer like Subscan and take a look on this deployment, take a look at the contract ABIs and find which particular events are useful for monitoring the inbound and outbound token and assets bridging on peaq network. So in this one, we have just, opened one of these transactions here, which is essentially from peaq to base network. And on opening this destination transaction itself on Subscan, as we can see, 5.32 USDC were bridged from peaq network to base network. In that case, person also, paid 0.2 as peaq as gas fee. On the other hand, when we look at the inbound transactions, one of the transactions which we see from the chain explorer happening from base network to peaq, which is for the amount, pretty smaller amount here, 10 cents were bridged from base to peaq. Anyway, the amount doesn't matter. What we're going to do is create a stream of block functions where we will be easily tracking the assets being bridged inbound and outbound completely on peaq network, so we can visualize and see what's the liquidity scenario for peaq network. Are the assets coming in or are they actually going out? Or it's been just a common constant pattern over the number of days. These kind of use cases are really helpful, and you can get this entire stream very easily from Project Zero directly. So let's go ahead and create our block functions. I'm going to quickly select peaq network. Obviously, maybe let's start from a specific block. I'll copy here this number on a block functions, probably put at 7. Stream never ends, so that it's unlimited, it's infinite, which means as soon as new blocks are being produced, it will be streamed along with the enriched data. We're going to select the dataset logs, as we will be looking into logs for these specific events created by layer 0. At that, I have this code ready and I'm going to quickly copy and paste here. It's a very simple code. End of the day, these are the specific events: OFT sent and OFT received. So OFT sent is one of the events which shows that the assets been sent from the source network, source chain. And OFT receive is you have received the assets in the destination chain, in this case peaq network, and we have just simply copy paste the exact definition of these events from the ABI contract ABI as well. And what we are doing in this code, essentially we are trying to encode it by event signature, decode these logs, and extracting the useful information, as we wanted to see destination IDs, to and from addresses, block number, transaction, etc. on that. And we're going to return that same output as well to for the data source, and we're going to save that in our table or any of the destinations which you might be using in your infrastructure. Now, just to test this code, what we can do is, let's take this case. In this scenario, we are sending from peaq network to other network, right? So let's see if this one works. just copy this. We're going to click on this. This is nice. And we see some output. We see OFT send, which is correct. On this particular transaction, the user is sending bridging assets from peaq network to base, right? And we see that user has sent from this particular address on this transaction hash among the timestamps. So we can even see from the address 74079. And that's exactly what it matches here. So we have that. Let's also check out retrieval as well, because in the same code, we are able to track both of these events. So I'm going to close this one, copy this block number, paste here, test again. And now we see OFT received. So funds being bridged across to peaq network to a specific address. And we are receiving these USDC. We're going to continue and we're going to select destination as webhook. I'm going to use Wix play here. Copy this endpoint, destination URL. Let's just always test. Yes, it's valid. You're going to click on create, and within few seconds, we can see these streams have already started pushing at lightning fast pace. So not the first one would be empty, as I reduced from the block number which we have the result on, just to see the empty state here. This is where we have the data, because in that very next block which we copied from here, assets are being sent from peaq network to base, and this is why we receive OFT sent here. That's how basically we receive responses from, across each and every block, all the transactions being monitored in real time and historical at a lightning fast pace. So that's it for today. Thanks.